How's it going, everybody? It is Visual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle versus Kevin over here in the PU tier. So, just gonna lead off with my Torterra as he leads off with Pyroar, and funny enough, Torterra and Pyroar are both banned from PU at this moment. And I made this team a while back. Obviously, this battle happened a little while ago, so that's why they're here. And if you wanted to use both of those Pokemon, you can't now in PU, so you can use a menu though. As anyways, I go into my Flareon on his Pyroar. That's Choice Specs Hyper Voice. He makes a switch into Ludicolo, probably predicting me to switch out, as I don't want to take another Hyper Voice. I go into my Spadef Torterra, as I stay in to get my Stealth Rocks up, and he fires off an Ice Beam. I was pretty confident I can live an Ice Beam, unless he's Life Orb, then that would be really, really bad. But yeah, I just wanted to get my rocks up either way. I mean, I was like, you know, the matchup doesn't look pretty good either way. I might as well just try it, since Ludicolo kind of destroys my team. So I go to Musharna, potentially on another Ice Beam, as he makes a nice play going for the Rain Dance, probably predicting me to switch out. And now he fires off the Waterium Z on the Ludicolo on my Musharna, and I'm praying that Musharna can live this. I am max HP Musharna, so that's a lot of HP, because Musharna has, you know, a lot of HP. That's a lot of HP. So, unfortunately, Musharna is going to get one-shotted right there. You see 436 HP? Nope, not enough for probably a modest Hydro Pump from Ludicolo in the rain. So, Waterium Z pretty much. So now I go to my Emolga, which is especially defensive as well. I know I run a lot of unconventional sets, especially in PU, because I like to just use them because they can actually work, funny enough. And yeah, you'll see, I am actually running a Rocky Helmet Max Defense Flareon too. He probably saw the Hyper Voice damage with his Pyroar on my Flareon. He's like, whoa, that's max HP. But yeah, over here I just keep clicking Roost, pretty much to stall out the rain as he brings in the Lycanroc. Obviously I don't want to take a Stone Edge. I know it's not Z-move Lycanroc as well, so maybe I'm thinking it's Focus Sash lead, or it could be a Life Orb variant, which is scary, or Banded. But I go into my Flareon either way, as he actually doubles into Pyroar, so I was just going to sack my Flareon, but this is pretty good for me. I get to go for a Protect, as I guess he really wanted to just hit me hard with the Pyroar, or maybe he thought that I would switch into something else that would take on Lycanroc, like maybe the Torterra or something, but Torterra was pretty low. Maybe he just forgot the HP I had on Torterra. But yeah, he fires off a Flamethrower, which I am immune to since I have Flash Fire, and I get a free Wish off as he brings in Mudsdale, and I get to Protect and get some HP back. So over here I'm like, alright, he went for Heavy Slam. He might be Banded. I'm just going to go for the Lava Plume and try and get a burn. And I do get that nice 30% chance to burn right there, as it actually raises his defense with stamina. But that's totally fine, I would say, since the burn kind of really just helps me. Even though he throws off a Toxic on me, which kind of sucks, puts me on a timer right there. And Bullseye over here from Toy Story can potentially have Earthquake and go for that. So I'm just going to go with my Torterra over here, as I should be able to live anything since he is burnt and, you know, it weakens his attack, halves it, as luckily I do live that, and the Leftovers allows me to recover enough HP so that I can potentially live another hit if he's faster and go for his Synthesis, but luckily Torterra is faster. So even if he wants to go for Heavy Slam, which might be able to knock me out from that range, I don't know if it will though. I get to Synthesis up since I'm faster, but he just throws off a Toxic, which is a good play since Torterra is put on a timer. But Torterra coming back in with the HP really helps out a lot versus the Lycanroc matchup that he has, since he could have probably just clicked Stone Edge against me, honestly, but he didn't. He just went to Pyroar. Maybe he didn't want to miss Stone Edge or something, I don't know. And he was scared of getting like paralyzed from Emolga because I have Discharge, even though I don't think I showed that yet. But I guess he maybe wanted to use other Pokemon as well. But anyways, I would hammer that Mudsdale, and down it goes. As now he brings in Ludicolo. I don't want to get Ice Beamed, so I go to my Emolga, which should be able to take the Ice Beam, and it does. Max Special Defense Emolga, and it outspeeds Ludicolo as well, since Emolga has really good speed. So over here I just fire off a Roost because pretty much maybe I can stall out Ice Beams a little bit here and there, and kind of gauge how much Ice Beam is doing, and also maybe he would over-predict and go for something else like, I don't know, Hydro Pump or Giga Drain, since Hydro Pump would probably be the best play if I go for a Roost. I'm faster and he does a lot of damage, maybe. And also, like I said, he might just switch, so he does actually switch into the Behemoth, and I throw off a Toxic as he switches into Pyroar, and I miss, which is huge. you guys will see later on in the game that Toxic Mist on this Pyroar was huge right there. So I go to Flareon, kind of mid-ground play, because if he goes for Hyper Voice I can take it, but he just throws off a Flamethrower, which Flash Fire boosted me, and now I get a nice hard-hitting Lava Plume off, and he brings in the Behemoth, which is Leftovers, which is probably expecting to be like a bulky Behemoth, I would guess, but Lava Plume does a bunch to that thing, and I would usually guess Behemoth would be like Trick Room with Nasty Plot or something. I don't know if that's his set, but he could be. As I just go into my Sableye, and kind of expecting him to want to go for like maybe a Psychic or something like that, but he actually makes a nice play going to Lycanroc, so he gets his Stealth Rocks up, which kind of sucks for my Flareon since now it's going to get really whittled down every time I switch in, and Pyroar looks like a massive threat, even though I could have probably beaten Pyroar with that Toxic. But anyways, he gets a crit right there with that Stone Edge, which is very unfortunate, since my Sableye is max defense, and I will easily take a Stone Edge, and I can just recover it off. And now he just knocks me out with a Stellar Rock. So Sableye getting critted right there was huge as well, as I probably would have just beaten the Lycanroc and maybe even beaten his team with Calm Mind, potentially. So that really sucks, as the Stellar Rock is priority and it beats my priority recovery with Prankster. But now I go on my Mawile and knock him out with the Sucker, and he brings in the Rotom Fan, and I predict him to probably want to throw off a Wisp or even Thunderbolt. So I'm just going to go on Emolga, since obviously he knows that Emolga might have Motor Drive, but I guess he didn't predict me to switch into it, as now I get +1 speed with my Emolga, which is very, very nice. I outspeed Pyroar, which is makes him probably not want to go into it, since he doesn't want to probably take a Discharge, because he might want to, you know, get knocked out by that, as he does bring in the Behemoth, and I miss a Toxic on that as well. I wanted to go for Toxic because, I don't know, it just seemed like the best play, and I could just like Roost Toxic, and I have Substitute on Emolga as well. So now I go into my Mawile over here, unfortunately, as the Behemoth, I could have like Toxic stalled it and was like substituted and stuff, but oh well. Mawile has to take that heavy hit with Psychic, and I go for the Play Rough, since I'm pretty sure I am faster than Behemoth, and I can just knock it out. Luckily, because my Mawile is Adamant and Life Orb with Sheer Force. As he brings in Ludicolo, goes for the Giga Drain. I don't want him to go for Rain Dance, so that's why I clicked Play Rough. I could have went for Sucker, but I was like, if he goes for Rain Dance and I go for Sucker, that's kind of bad. Like, I'd rather punish him if he goes for Rain Dance, right there. So now I go on Emolga, which is kind of scary, since Ice Beam might be able to do it, but he actually switches into the Rotom as I go for a Toxic. Since I'm pretty sure I can live the Ice Beam from this range, I wanted to go for Toxic right there. So even if he went for Rain Dance, I should be able to deal with it, even though Hydro Pump is kind of scary in rain, but I guess he doesn't want to risk that Hydro Pump and miss. So over here I'm expecting Trick Rotom Fan, so that's why I wanted to switch into my Torterra, as he actually goes for a Toxic. So I was like, okay, interesting. So it's probably Toxic Scarf Rotom, or maybe even Specs Rotom was Toxic. I'm not too sure, since I have no way of telling. I mean, I don't see Leftovers on it, and I mean, he's just spamming Toxic right here, so I'm guessing he's just locked into it. So I just go for a Synthesis, because that is gonna hopefully put me out of range from a Ludicolo's Ice Beam, since the first one did almost like 100% to my max HP and a lot of special defense Torterra. But I'm just going to keep spamming Synthesis, since that's my best play, because even though Toxic is whittling me down, it's going to knock him out first. And no matter what he does, he can't weaken me. So I do take a lot of damage from that Toxic. It might put me in range of an Ice Beam, but I'm going to risk it. As Ludicolo comes out, it's going to fire off the Ice Beam. I'm praying that I can live and go for the Wood Hammer, and I do on 14 HP. And then, bam, down goes the Ludicolo. As I'm pretty sure I am running Overgrow on this Torterra. Yeah, I am. So he put me in Overgrow range, and that Wood Hammer will blow that thing back. As now it is Pyroar versus Flareon, and I can't really beat the Pyroar, since I missed that Toxic on it, because what would have happened was maybe I Protect over here, it would have took initial damage before from the poison, and potentially just get knocked out by the poison, but yeah, that's not the case, as, I mean, there's no real way of beating Pyroar, because if I Protect it right there, it will just lower my HP, and then it would give him a better chance to knock me out, and then Emolga gets outsped by Pyroar, so pretty unfortunate, but hey, that's what happens, so, oh well. Alright, so, GG to Kevin. I probably could have won, except for the hacks, but, oh well. I mean, that's the game we play. So, up next we got is versus Giovanni, and he has a pretty cool team, probably Sticky West Mass Screen, I'm guessing, and, yeah, probably Shell Smash, Caracosta, Shinade, probably max defense, and Claydol, maybe Spadef, maybe Savali Spadef, I don't know. Could be offensive Savali, and Primeape, usually like Bandit or Scarf, I would say. I've seen Z move though as well, so usually Scarf, Primeape though. as just going to my Torterra as a lead, since it's a pretty good lead, as he leads off of Claydol, and yeah, I can pretty much freely go for a Woodhammer if I really wanted to. So he sees that coming, and he goes into Masquerain over here. So I just fire off, you know, Woodhammer, just an off chance he wants to stay in and Ice Beam me, honestly, as I can take that, and I can just, like, bop him with the Woodhammer, and potentially break a Focus Sash on the Masquerain coming in. So he actually switches out the Masquerain over here, as he brings in Primeape, which I just fire off Stealth Rock, since I can easily take a hit from the Masquerain. I wasn't really scared of it, to be honest. Even though Masquerain, I think, does learn Ice Beam, I should be able to take it since it's not stab. So he actually fires off an Ice Punch with his Primeape, and I just stay in and go for the Earthquake. I'm staying in on everything, and I get a critical hit on that Primeape, which probably mattered, I'm guessing. Probably should have clicked the Woodhammer, because that would bring me in Overgrow range and just knock out the Primeape, but I don't want to take recoil, to be honest, so that's why I went for the Earthquake. As now he brings in Shiinotic, I just go for the Synthesis, since I should be able to live anything Shiinotic wants to go for, since they're usually just defensive Shiinotic, as he just fires off the Moonblast, and I barely take anything from that Moonblast. Hopefully he doesn't have Toxic. Usually Shiinotic have like Moonblast, Giga Drain, Strength Sap, maybe even I've seen like, I think they learned Spore? I think so. Maybe they don't run it though. I think they run Leech Seed as well, I don't know, I forget. I haven't used Shiinotic in so long. But yeah, I go on my Flareon, which is going to be naturally bulking, especially defense. And yeah, a lot of defense as well with Rocky Helmet, like I said, as it's going to be Wish, Protect, Toxic, Lava Plume. And I just fire off a Toxic as he goes into Caracosta. And Crush over here can easily just Shell Smash up, honestly, and kind of claim one life from my team. So I'm just going to switch out my Flareon into Mawile, predict him to want to go for a Shell Smash, and hope that Mawile can take a hit. I'd probably have to Sucker Punch it, but he actually fires off the Liquidation. So I'm like, okay. Hopefully Play Rough will knock this thing out, even though I doubt it, since Caracosta has massive defense, as it does live that. Sheer Force, Life Orb, Adamant, Mawile, Play Rough. So luckily the Poison knocks out the Caracosta right there as well. And over here I just decided to go into Emolga, since maybe I can fire off a Toxic on something and, you know, do my shenanigans and pretty much substitute Roost and all that jazz. So he actually brings in the Shiinotic, which is not a good matchup because he might be scared of Air Slash, as he brings in the Claydol. And landing Toxic on the Claydol is very, very nice for me, because now I get to Toxic Stall it. Yay! The best thing to ever do in the entire world in Pokemon is to Toxic Stall something. Isn't that right, kids? No? Oh, okay. Well, that's what we're going to do over here, as he Rapid Spins my Stealth Rocks away, and I go for a substitute. But hey, that's just what I like to do with the electric types. You know, I use that on my really fast electric types. Zapdos likes to Toxic Stall with pressure. Emolga is really good, especially defensive. You got that nice sub-toxic. They're just fast, and they like, you know, anything that doesn't want to get toxic. Thunderbolt, those guys. So usually just whittle down those bulky ground types, unless they're, you know, ground and poison, which would be like Nidoking and Nidoqueen. But yeah, those guys you don't see too much in these lower tiers, since they're banned, and in the higher tiers anyways, except for RU and UU. But he gets his rocks up right there, as that's pretty unfortunate for me. But Toxic is racking up, as ICU should be able to easily get knocked out in the next few turns. And I just go for a Roost, since there's nothing really else to do. I mean, I could literally just sit back and relax behind the substitute, as he tries and struggles to try and whittle down my Emolga. But one more turn, as he actually has a berry right there, and it is the Pinch Berry. So that's pretty unfortunate for me that I have Papa Berry. But I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, since I can just substitute again, since I'm faster, and no matter what, he can't really bust through Emolga with this Claydol. And Toxic is gonna just keep on racking up more and more each single turn. Like, one more Toxic, he's gone. And unfortunately, I don't have any other move to like pick him off. My only other move is Discharge, since my Emolga is gonna be Toxic, Substitute, Roost, and Discharge, if you haven't guessed already. I mean, you can look at all my sets in the description down below, so if you were wondering. As yeah, now down goes the Claydol, as he did do, you know, almost half of my HP gone, but I can just Roost up and take care of that. As in comes Sableye Fire over here. I'm like, okay, what kind of Sableye Fire is this? I think he's using that because actually Pyro got banned. I'm pretty sure. Maybe he just didn't want to use Pyro, but I think I remember Pyro got banned when we had this battle. So unfortunately, I missed a Toxic right there, which would have been nice to get off, but unfortunately that is not the case. So now I go to my Flareon over here, and Flareon will hopefully try and land a Wish and Toxic and try and beat down the Sableye. But I get flinched right there, so I'm like, dang it, man, I can't get a break of these hacks. I mean, granted, I did crit his Primeape, but I mean, I probably maybe would have switched out into, like, I don't know, Flareon on the Ice Punch and then Rock Helmet damage, and probably would have knocked out the Primeape. But oh well. So now my plan C over here, since plan A and plan B didn't work, so plan C is to trick room up my Musharna and Calm Mind up, since my Musharna is going to be Psychium Z, as he goes for a Swords Dance, which is very scary, but I should be able to live a +2 multi-attack with max HP Musharna from the Sableye Fire, and luckily I do. And now I fire off the Psychium Z Psyshock, which hopefully will knock out the Sableye at +1 special attack, and Musharna opens its eyes. Oh my god, everybody freaks out, because, I mean, it doesn't really freak me out that much. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too desensitized to things on the internet, but I don't know. Looks normal to me. Musharna's just waking up and just like, get out of here, Shattered Psych. But yeah, anyways, down goes Sableye. In comes the Shiinotic, which is a huge threat for my team, since now it's in Trick Room, and it's able to outspeed me in Trick Room, and gets an unfortunate special attack drop. And yeah, Musharna goes down pretty much the next turn, because I don't have Moonlight. I don't think I have Moonlight, because I would have went for it right there. I just have Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Psyshock, and Trick Room. So that kind of sucks. And the rest of the battle is just going to be me trying to beat down the Shiinotic, but it's unfortunately going to come down to my demise, because Torterra can't beat down Shiinotic since it has the move, Strength Sap, and it's going to go for that right here and regain all that HP back and lower my attack in the process as well. So yeah, Strength Sap is one hella good move to have against physical attackers and regain all the HP. So yeah, Torterra is not going to be able to break through Shiinotic. I'm just going to keep trying, but it's not going to work. And then my last Pokemon is Sableye, and he has Moonblast, which gets demolished by that, so no really need to continue, as we can just move on to the next battle, since this is me trying to maybe get some crits or something like that, but it's not going to work. So GG to Giovanni right there, as, you know, we got some hacks here and there, but I think my hacks mattered the most, since, you know, I got flinched on that rock slide and missed Toxic so many times, but hey, that's what happens. That we all know 90% accuracy is a lie. We all know that. So, anyways, next up is versus Turtles, and I took off Torterra because I realized it was banned on this team. From the before battles, it wasn't banned, but now it is banned, I think. But yeah, versus Turtles, he has a very offensive team, very, very scary. As yeah, let's just jump right into it. My Alolan Duckshio is going to be my Stealth Rocker, and I do believe it is Life Orb with Iron Head, Earthquake, and I think Stone Edge or Rock Slide, I forget. I don't know, I have to check. But I don't know, it'll be in the description. As I just lead off with my Mawile, since Mawile looked really, really nice versus his team. I wanted to just Swords Dance up and kind of claim a life right here, because looking at his team, he did not have a switch in at all to Mawile. So I'm like, yeah, let me just lead off with it. As he just leads off with probably Stealth Rock, Mesprit, and just U-turns out. As he brings in Float Cell, I'm like, this thing should drop to an Adamant Sucker Punch. I mean, I'm Life Orb, it should go down. But nope, it lives. I'm like, well, probably should have calced that, as when I calced it, it's actually a roll to knock it out, I do believe. And unfortunately, he knocks me off Hydro Pump, so yeah, oh well. At least I got some good damage up on the Float Cell, but probably should have tried to get Stealth Rocks up first, so that Mawile probably would have swept his team, maybe. But oh well. So, bringing Musharna over here, go for the Trick Room, as I should be able to live a Hydro Pump, and I can outspeed him if he wants to stay in and go for a Psyshock to knock him out. But he brings in the Mesprit, and Mesprit should be able to maybe go for a knockoff if he wants to damage me, maybe a U-turn if he has that, but he decides to go for Stealth Rocks. Hopefully, I'm hoping that he does not have Toxic, but if he does go for Toxic, I do have Synchronize, and that'll Synchronize to his Mesprit and get his Mesprit Toxic. But over here, I just go for another Calm Mind, as he goes for a U-turn. Trick Room is still up, so I should be able to bop something with a Psychium Z, but he brings in the Absol, and I'm like, oh no, please don't let this be Focus Sash or Life Orb, or else then goodbye Musharna. Luckily, it is not one of those two, as I live that Sucker Punch right there and knock him out Dazzling Gleam, so very huge risk on my part, but I was really in the back. Like, I honestly thought I was just going to lose this game after losing Mawile like that, so I was like, yeah, it's whatever, but luckily, I'm back in the game with knocking out Absol, since Absol was a huge threat if it was Swords Dance, but maybe it was like Dread Plate. I don't know. I didn't calc how much Sucker Punch Dread Plate does to Musharna, but I mean, what else would he be? Not too sure without Life Orb or Focus Sash. I would personally always run maybe Focus Sash or Life Orb, but I mean, I've ran Blackberry Absol before, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, I brought in a little Duckshio on the Like Rock, a Cell Rock. I predicted him to want to go for that, and then he lowers his speed with my Tangled Hair. He brings in Mesprit as I get my rocks up, and then I go for some Iron Heads, and I actually flinch him 2 times over here on the Mesprit, and then I flinch him again. And that's going to be able to bring down the Mesprit, which is just very, very, very unfortunate for him, and very, very lucky for me. But yeah, that's Pokemon. What else can you say? Like, sorry about those flinches right there. That is really, really lucky for me. What would have happened was, if I didn't flinch him, he probably would have just maybe knocked me off if he had that. I'm not too sure what else Mespray would run. I think usually they have, like, U-turn, Psychic, Stealth Rock, and sometimes a status move like Thunder Wave or Toxic, which you can't do any of those on a Alolan Duckshio, so maybe you just U-turn, I don't know. Maybe you would have something else like Ice Beam, I'm guessing, but you don't see that too much on a lead Mespray with Stealth Rocks. But he brings in this Volley normal with Leftovers and gets a Tailwind up, as I just wanted to Earthquake it. And then he brings in a Haunter, which I kind of predicted him to probably want to switch out, because that's why Ironhead over here. Unfortunately, Ironhead does not knock out the Haunter, as I do not want to lose my Alolan Duckshio, because it could be very nice to keep for the Lycanroc and maybe lower its speed. So I just sack Musharna to the Stealth Rock, since there's no real reason to keep it. And now I go into my Spadef Emolga, which should be able to live anything Haunter wants to go for, unless it might be like modest specs, Choice Specs Shadow Ball, I'm guessing. But actually, when I Roost over here, it doesn't turn out to be, I think, Specs. I think that's Scarf damage. I'm pretty sure, since Haunter already has like Mass Special Attack. And Tailwind does beat her out right there. So I was hoping that maybe he would be like Modest or something, which I'm pretty sure the Calcs, he's not Modest. I think he's just running Max Speed, Max Special Attack, Timid, with Scarf, I'm guessing, since I don't see Black Sludge or Life Orb on there. What would have happened was, if he was Life Orb, I would have just kept Roosting until he knocks himself out, but that's not the case. So in comes the Sableye again. I just go for a Roost to get some more HP back, since the Sableye was weird. It had Parting Shot and Tailwind, so I'm not too sure what the last moves were. Maybe like Explosion or something. I probably might go down to Explosion, but he just goes for a Parting Shot, so I was like, okay, that's fine on me. He can bring in whatever. He can bring in Lycanroc, that's fine. Over here, I'm pretty much just going to try and sack my Emolga, since if I switch out and he goes for like Drill Run or something on my Alolan Duckshio, that'd be really, really bad. And plus 2, a Cell Rock might be able to knock my Alolan Duckshio out, even though I kind of resisted 4 times. So I just go for Discharges, hope for a 30% chance to paralyze this Lycanroc, because that's probably my only bet to win, is to try and hope for some hacks, as I do get it. And he actually Swords Danced again, which I don't really agree with, unless he needed +4 to knock out my Alolan Duckshio with a Cell Rock, which I kind of get, but Lycanroc's naturally faster than the Alolan Duckshio, so I don't know, maybe he's not running max speed. So over here I'm just hoping that he gets paralyzed, but unfortunately that is not the case, as Cell Rock blows me back. And I just realized he's running Lycanroc Dusk and a PU. He's not running... Actually, that's not Lycanroc... I don't know. Is that Lycanroc Dusk? That's banned from PU either way. He has to run... I think that's regular Lycanroc, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I can't tell because it's shiny. Usually I could tell if it's like orange or something. But I'm pretty sure your Lycanroc Dusk has those pointy things. I don't know. I don't remember. But it probably has Tough Claws then, and that does a lot of damage because... Luckily, he gets paralyzed either way, and I get to knock him out Shadow Ball with the Sableye. But... I mean, it doesn't really matter since I took down a Lycanroc either way. If it would have mattered probably if I lost to it, if it was Lycanroc Dust, because that's banned, that's an RU. But maybe he just didn't know. So he brings in Sableye. I just go for a Taunt because I don't know what kind of Sableye this is, as he actually tries to... I think he went for something right there, Defog or something, try and get the Defog off if he had that. And, you know, bring back Floatzel, since Floatzel will go down to my Stealth Rocks, as now I go to my Flareon. And it turns out he's no attacking Sableye. He has all supporting moves on the Sableye, so he just struggles right there after I went for the Taunt and knocks himself out with the Rocky Helmet right there and Struggle Recoil, and then Floatzel goes down to the Stealth Rock. So that's pretty awesome for me. Rocky Helmet came in clutch right there, as, I mean, it didn't really matter since, I mean, he was struggling and Taunt would have, you know, with the struggle would have just knocked himself out either way. But hey, Rocky Helmet at least picked up the kill. I could say that at least. So yeah, that's going to be a GG to Turtles right there. Very unfortunate Ironhead flinches, but yeah, that's regular Lycanroc. Never mind, that's not Lycanroc Dusk. I just couldn't tell because I just don't remember the differences. I think that's pretty... I don't know, honestly. I think Lycanroc Dusk Sprite has orange or something. But yeah, either way, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And I guess common question of the day is, what is going to be your favorite electric type? Leave it down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.